Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. Let's do an unboxing reading vlog, shall we? Obviously, the best time to start a reading vlog is when you're fresh out of the shower after a workout because, you know, this is a great look. It was also probably a mistake to not bring my tripod down here, but here we are. I'm not going back upstairs to get it. I'm here to unbox the Once Upon a Book Club Write Your Own Story box. One of the things I like about this box is I have no idea what the book is, but the blurb just sounded interesting to me, the little of it I actually read, and then it also comes with a few items that you're meant to open at certain parts of the book. So we're going to unbox it now, but I'm not going to open the individually packaged items until the appropriate pages, but I'll be bringing you along on that as well. I also figured I would start reading now, and I figured that I would have some chocolate booze because why not? My best friend gave these to me and now's the time. Especially because I'm only allowed to have alcohol certain days of the week and it's currently a Sunday, so I'm allowed. Nobody asked for this, but because you're in a vlog, you're gonna get this extra content. It's because I'm doing this 75-day challenge called the 69 Nice Challenge, which is a take on the 75 Hard Challenge, where I have to work out 90 minutes a day and also read 10 minutes a day, which is super not hard, drink a bunch of water, not eat junk food, and not have alcohol except for on certain days. As of recording this, I'm 20 days into that project, and I'm not as exhausted as I was about a week ago, but it's still a lot to get into a day. Anyway, weird life update over, let's open this box. So I already severed all of the tape so that we can just open this together. Also, this did come with a few little ding-ups, but I assume that's more of a Canada Post issue than a Once Upon a Book Club box issue, so there's that. Also, before I completely forget, if you're interested in trying out this box, I am an affiliate for them, so I have a code linked down below. I believe it's just my last name, which is Trithart. Have fun spelling it, that's why it's down below. And with that, you get a discount on your first purchase, and I get $5 to use the next time I order from them. With that part out of the way, let's get back into opening this. They open like this, which is kind of adorable. And then it looks something like this when you open it up. This will be a book club kit, which I will get more into because it looks like there's some fun things in there. And it looks like our book this time around is something called The Roughest Draft, which I haven't heard of, but is written by two authors, and I feel like I have read a book by these two authors. Let me double check. Yes! These two authors write together a bunch. I don't think I've actually read this one. I think I've read another one, and this one's on my TBR. But yes, these two authors write together. So I like to go into my books not knowing too much the synopsis. So either later I will record myself doing the synopsis and put that in here, or I will get a booktube friend to do it because I kind of like doing that.
The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegman Broca. They were co-writing literary darlings until they hit a plot hole that turned their lives upside down. 3 years ago, Katrina Freeling and Nathan Van Heusen were the brightest literary stars on the horizon, their co-written books topping bestseller lists. But on the heels of their greatest success, they ended their partnership on bad terms for reasons that neither would divulge to the public. They haven't spoken since and never plan to, except they have one final book due on contract. Facing crossroads in their personal and professional lives, they're forced to reunite. The last thing they ever thought they'd do again is hole up in the tiny Florida town where they wrote their previous book, trying to finish a new manuscript quickly and painlessly. Working through the reasons they've hated each other for the past 3 years isn't easy, especially not while writing a romantic novel. While passion and prose push them together in the Florida heat, Katrina and Nathan will learn that relationships, like writing, sometimes take a few rough drafts before they get it right.
As for the other items, when we get to page 16, I'm meant to open whatever this is. When I get to page 95, I'll open whatever this is. And when I get to page 145, I get to open whatever this is. I also really love their packaging. It's really cute. Also, this literally has books, and I really love it. And then when I get to page 160, there's this, and yay pineapples. They also put these little tabs on the right pages when you're meant to open the book, so you don't forget to open one of the items as you're going along. I took the plastic off our book club guide, so we have a bookmark, which just basically reminds you to open up the items when you're meant to open up the items. We also have this print that says, "There's no truth to these pages, but the trick of fiction is to make you think there is. I let myself fall for it as often as I can." which is a quote from the book, which is pretty cool. There's also a letter from the authors, so I'm going to read that myself in a little bit. There's also a signed book plate, so I'm going to toss that in the book as well. And then this is a book club kit, which sometimes they have this and sometimes they don't. And it'll be kind of a conversation with some people, some discussion questions, and also because it is write your own story, it's kind of an idea of what you want to do if you were doing your own story, which I kind of think is a little bit cool. Added in that book plate, and I'm always scared they're going to be slightly askew, and this one is, and that's fine, I don't care. So without further ado, I'm going to start reading. This is the dedication page, and it makes me think that these authors are actually a couple, but I don't actually know for sure. I should really look that up. Let's get this party started. I'm still struggling to open my first chocolate, and I'm reading the author's note, and it does confirm that they are married co-writers and for previous novels. And I've only read one of them, but assuming I like this one, I'm going to read more. They're kind of adorable, but also I feel like if I don't eat it all in one go, I'm gonna get booze everywhere, so maybe I'll try this first. Solid chocolate, what I thought it would be. Not bad. Hi, so I've read 2 chapters, which means I've had a chapter from each of the 2 perspectives, Katrina and Nathan. Now these 2 characters used to be writing partners. They used to write together. They actually had one of the biggest selling books of the last 5 years together, but they don't write together anymore, and we don't really know why. We just know that once they finished that book, they haven't really spoken since, and there's rumors going around and all of that type of stuff, but we don't know what it was. It's also important to note, and it's been noted quite a few times, that their writing relationship was not a romantic relationship, so I'm really hoping we don't get that snuck in there later down the line, but we'll see how this goes. This also means that I am just about to be on page 16. In fact, the 3rd chapter starts on page 16, which means I will be opening the gift in just a moment, and I have an idea of what it is just based on what it says right above there, but I'll let you know in a second. As I suspected, it is some form of bag, but I figured I'd actually open it up with you because it looks absolutely lovely, and it actually feels like there might be a book in there. Obstinate, Headstrong Girl, Jane Austen. This is quite a sturdy bag, actually. I really like this, and yeah, there's definitely a book in here. What the heck? Come on. Oh, one-handed vlogging. Good God. Okay, well, this is hilarious. This is hilarious because the book that Katrina picks up at the bookstore is, in fact, this book, which is written by her writing partner. And it says to open here, so I'm going to. But as it turns out, this is a different book altogether, obviously, because that book doesn't exist. Murder at Malowin Hall, which I've never heard of before, but it's a mystery, and it looks like it also has to do with writing, so I'm gonna probably enjoy it right after I finish reading this one. What makes this so great, though, is this exact cover was talked about in the opening chapter, so it's very funny that, you know, they actually made a mock-up cover. I really enjoy that. That's cool. And the fact that it's the from the New York Times bestselling author of Only One, that's the book that they wrote together. So this is cool because I did not expect to get a second book as well as this really, really nice tote bag. Like, this is a sturdy, sturdy tote bag, and I will definitely be using it for carrying books. Oh, there's also this so that you can put it into an over-the-shoulder bag with the little clips on the inside if you don't like the length of those handles. So yeah, that's a great tote bag. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm just gonna get this over and done with because this is not a great scotch, but with the addition of chocolate, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. To be fair to Famous Grouse, I think I was actually thinking of Bell's. I think this is like a lower end scotch, but it's actually not that bad. But again, it's gonna have chocolate, so like it's gonna be fine no matter what. I am the classiest. I guess I need to really rephrase something that I said earlier. At least I think I said earlier. It could have just been something I thought. But, like, this is a romance book, so we have to assume that these characters were probably going to get together, given it's a romance book, even though he was married when they were writing together before, and she's currently engaged to their publicist. I think he's publicist or manager or something like that. But he is a manipulative asshat, so I would be completely fine with her not being in a relationship with him anymore. However, the part I would be upset about if it happens is if they cheated together in the past, or if she's going to cheat now in the present day. That's what's going to bother me, because, you know, obviously they're gonna get together. It's a romance. It says it right on the cover. I mean, it's a great tagline. Stopped to make some very quick dinner, and I'm gonna continue reading. So what I'm really enjoying about this is we've just gotten our first previous timeline scene, so they've kind of gone back in time to show, like, what it was like when they first started working on their second book together, which is the book that they wrote just before they broke up as a writing duo. So it's going to be interesting to see that happening, as well as them writing something similar, because that's kind of what they've proposed to the publishing company, although not exactly the same, obviously. But the book that they've proposed has to do with people going through a divorce and a dual timeline type of situation. So I'm interested to see how much of this gets mixed up in what they're writing. And we've come to another thing, which means I need to open this. Based on what's going on right now, it's either going to be a coffee product or it's going to be like a hand cream or something. Because the last sentence says, even over the scent, I can smell her hand cream. And that's what I figure it probably is, just based on the weight of the box, but let's find out together. Aha! It's a hand cream that's literally called Fiction, which is amazing because of this book. Clearly they made it themselves specifically for this, so hopefully it's actually pretty good. Weirdly enough, I was literally looking at my hands today wondering if I'm of the age where I should start using hand cream, so this might actually come in handy. Oh yeah, it says on the front that the scent is coconut, and it definitely is, so I'm gonna try this out, finish this chapter, and then probably be done for the night, and then continue tomorrow. Hello, I've made it to page 145, which means it's time to open another gift. Even before I started reading the book, I thought I already kind of knew what might be in here, and based on the sentence that I just read, I've got a pretty good idea. But let's open it up just to find out. Ooh. Oh, this is branded too. They went all out with this one. But this is definitely going to be pens, and I'm definitely going to struggle opening it with one hand. 1 second, I'm putting this down. As I imagined, inside is a set of 3 signing pens, which that's fantastic. Also, I love that this is also branded with the Once Upon a Book Club logo, or initials rather, on it. So like, they really went all out on branding on the items they were giving this time around, so that's pretty cool. And we've made it to page 160, which is the final gift to open, and although this one isn't even taped, the box is so tight that I'm not going to be able to open it with one hand, so just give me 1 second. Also, based on the exact sentence that the post-it note was under, I'm assuming that this is a bookmark of some sort, but we'll find out. And of course, I was absolutely correct. It is a bookmark with this nice little tassel at the end of it that says "Read Between the Lines," which, you know, is lovely. Anything bookish, I'm gonna enjoy. That means I don't have anything else to open, but I will come back at the end of the book to give you my final thoughts without any spoilers. Hello, even though you've only seen me in this room in this vlog, it's a different day and I have finished the book. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the back and forth, getting to see what happened in the past, what happened now, also figuring out what happened in the past, because you really don't know until you get closer to the end of the book, which is always a way to make me keep reading it. I literally just finished, but it's probably a 4 out of 5 for me. I have to think on it a little bit, but I think that's what I thought of this. I did very much enjoy my time with this, and I'm not going to spoil things for you. So thank you very much for coming along on this unboxing. Of course, if you would like your own box from Once Upon a Book Club, please be sure to check my link down below and use my coupon code. If you've read this book, please tell me what you think about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your computer. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye.